I'm talking about Beyonce, I'm talking about like who is doing it? Who is doing it like her? Nobody. Not me, not you, but that's okay though, because we're gonna get there in our own way. You feel me? Yes. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Raven and this is 50 Shades of Rae. Over here we talk about tips and tricks to help you out with your new blog or biz and some other stuff sprinkled in there, but you know, on track subject, okay? So today I wanted to talk to you guys about branding. What is branding? How do you brand for, you know, a new blog or a new business? You've never branded anything before, so what do you need to do? What are, you know, some tips and tricks to keep in mind and to consider? That is what we are going to focus on today. Okay, so get your pen, get your paper, get your notepad, get your phone, do whatever you need to do, because we taking notes today, honey. Okay. So the first thing that we even need to talk about or consider when it comes to branding is, what is branding? What does that even mean? When I first started blogging, I thought it was just more so how my stuff looks, what colors I have, you know, maybe what kind of fonts I want. But it's beyond that. Branding is more than just how it looks. It is an emotional connection that you have with your audience, okay? So one thing that I kind of want you to consider, think about your favorite artists or like musical artists, or maybe your favorite TV show, maybe your favorite product, okay? Think about what you feel when you think or experience that person or subject. So for example, for me, Beyonce. Everybody who knows me knows that Beyonce, honey, is my, look at this. Yes, I drink my coffee with a straw. I love Beyonce. In this household, as for me in my house, honey, okay. So when I'm thinking about Beyonce, when I'm thinking about her brand, there's some questions that come to mind. What do I feel when I think about her? When I think about Beyonce, honey, I feel like, you know, I feel like I need to work a little harder. I feel like I need to be the best. I feel, you know, sometimes classy, because, you know, Beyonce comes out with her gowns, honey, and she, you know, just steals the scene. I feel like I need to keep my mouth closed as well, because we never know anything about Beyonce until she's ready to say it, you know? Mystery is what I think when I, you know, think about her. Exclusivity. Everybody does not have access to her. So those are a couple of things that I think about when I think of her. That is who her brand is at this moment. Power, exclusivity, mystery, excellence. That is who Beyonce is. Another thing to consider, like when we're talking about brands, how does Beyonce stand out? She's an amazing dancer. She's an amazing songwriter. She's obviously an amazing singer. The way that she packages her materials, always, you know, striving for more perfection, always beating herself. That is how she stands out. So another question to consider, how do I feel when I talk to others about her? Well, 9 times out of 10, me and other people are talking about her together. So we both hyping each other up, you know, about her. But if I'm talking to her about somebody who may not be a super big fan, or, you know, somebody who may not know what she has going on, I'm speaking with excitement. I'm speaking with, you know, awe, definitely conviction, definitely passion, because it's like, look at what Beyonce is doing. Who is on her level? How can I do that? That is like, you know, what the conversation is. So when I'm talking about Beyonce, I'm talking about like, who is doing it? Who is doing it like her? Nobody. Not me, not you, but that's okay though, because we're gonna get there in our own way. You feel me? So going beyond Beyonce as a brand, even look at her brands. Before there was a Ivy Park, because all my non-90s babies, there was a House of Darion, honey, okay? And when you had your jeans and you had your Darion purse, girl, who was checking you, girl? Like, girl, that was, baby, I had my House of Darion in middle school, girl. I had it, girl. I had this little brown purse with, it was like a velvet type, I'm gonna have to find a picture. It was a velvet purse with, it went over like that with the latch, and then the symbol had House of Darion, and then my best friend at the time had the matching purple one. Who? So now that we've defined what branding is, we've talked about some examples, we're now going to focus on factors that need to be considered for your new business, your new blog, your new brand, your new YouTube, whatever it is that you are working on, some ways to define it. And these are some tips and tricks that I wish that I knew when I first started out, because I feel like had I known that back then, I probably would have been further along than what I am now, or I would have, been more clear about the direction of where I wanted my blog to go. But that's okay, because this is it's all a part of the journey. Okay, so the first thing that you want to consider when you are defining your brand or redefining your brand is, what am I promising to my audience? Okay, so what do I mean by that? When your audience experiences you, what are you promising them? For example, when I first started my blog, because the blog that I have today is completely different from the blog that I started years ago. When I first started my own personal blog, because I've been blogging for companies and magazines for years. When I first started my own personal blog, I honestly was just talking about whatever. I was like, well, I'm just gonna talk about me, so I'm gonna talk about everything that I like. So one day I was talking about Beyonce, the next day I'm talking about, what happened to me at the mall, the next day I'm talking about my favorite nail design. It was just literally all over the place. And it was becoming so much, I stopped. Then of course, as months progressed, because I stopped for a while. As months progressed, I'm evolving as a person, I'm changing as a person. At that time, my focus was, strengthening my relationship with God. I'm a Christian, so my focus was strengthening my relationship with God, drawing closer to, Christianity, and, focusing more so on being a righteous Christian woman. And so I revamped my blog into a Christian blog. I was doing a lot of writing a blog post about a prayer, or writing a blog post, about a Bible study or something like that. I was doing all of that because that's where I was at that time. But then I felt so stifled, because I'm like, I'm a Christian, but I'm still, I still cuss here and there. I still want to talk about, what Beyonce's doing. I still want to talk about, my favorite clothes, but how can I do that on a Christian blog? So I stopped that. So months and months, I'm like, a part of me is Christian, a part of me loves Beyonce, a part of me loves nails, a part of me does this. I'm just gonna talk about my life. And I revamped it a third time into a lifestyle blog, which is what it is now. So when my readers are, reading my things, or, following me on Instagram or whatever, the things that they know that they can get from me is transparency. Whether I'm talking about being the fat girl in my crew, what it's like being a teacher, a millennial teacher, or whether I'm talking about my favorite plus size stores or whatever, they know that they can get transparency from me. They know that they can get honesty from me. Because if I'm talking about myself, I can't lie about, you can lie, child, but as years have progressed and I've, started being interested in other things like social media and strategy and branding and Pinterest marketing and things like that, and blogging, I've started incorporating blogging tips, and I've started incorporating social media tips onto my blog. So from there, my audience can also expect me to help them with their blog or their business or things of that nature. Another thing to consider when it comes to branding is your colors. Now, this is the part where people think it's all fun. Like, oh, I'm gonna choose yellow and green because those are my two favorite colors. That's cool. Like, that is completely cool. But when we talk about branding, we talk about colors, there is a deeper level to it than just, picking your favorite colors. So for me and for my brand, my colors have always been pink. For one, pink is my favorite color, but going beyond that, when I think of pink, for me, pink is femininity. I'm a girl's girl. I'm a girly girl. I love being with my girls. I love looking cute. I love, I'm a girl's girl. But when you break down pink, what makes pink? Red and white. So the color red represents strength, okay? It also represents womanhood, if you know what I mean. The color white represents purity. It also represents starting over. So for me, one of my missions of my brand is, to inspire women that it is okay to start over. It's okay to pick up a passion. It's okay to change, and it's okay to evolve. So I pick colors that represent that. So when it comes to you thinking about your brand colors, make sure that you do the same. Go beyond just your favorite color, but really look into the psychology of what colors mean, and look into the psychology, the sociology aspect of how those colors relate to an audience. So the third thing to consider when defining your brand or redefining your brand is, what problem are you solving? And this is the hard one here. For me, a lifestyle blog, while you may be motivating or sharing your favorite whatever, for me, I felt like I really wasn't solving anyone's problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm just literally talking about myself, but I wanted to do more with my blog. I wanted to do more, educating. I am a teacher by 9 to 5. I'm a teacher by 9 to 5. So all I do is teach. So I have an innate passion for teaching. So that's what I wanted to do to take my blog to the next level. So what I noticed was, when I was blogging or like randomly talking about things on Instagram, people would start messaging me like, "Oh, how do I start a blog? What help me?" It was more so like a band, like, "Help me start a blog. Can you create a blog for me?" That's kind of what I started getting. Then that started trickling into, well, how did you create this image? Or what editing software are you using? So I noticed, I'm like, okay, everybody's over here asking me questions and stuff. Let me create a blog post on how to start a blog. Let me create a blog post on my favorite video editing apps. So I started incorporating that, because the problem was, new bloggers or people who were trying to create a business did not know how to do these things, even though all that information is out there, already, but they did not know how to do these things. So me being the one who did, I was their point of reference. So for me, I started incorporating those tips to help them. The fourth thing to consider when creating your brand or redefining your brand is there a need for your solution? This definitely connects back to number 3, which is identifying the problem. If there's a problem, then make sure, obviously, that you have a solution, but is there even a need for your solution? And even if there's not necessarily a need for your solution, create something or add something to what's already out there to, take you to the next level. For example, there are so many jewelry brands and stuff out here. There are so many places that you can buy, like, your Gemini necklace or whatever. I'm not a Gemini, I'm a Taurus, maybe. But say, for example, you're a Gemini, you want, that there. Everybody wants a zodiac sign necklace. So you say, well, there's already so many zodiac sign necklaces out there. Who is going to buy mine? So take it up, a notch. Maybe either create a new design. Maybe create the zodiac sign necklace, but have the option to put the person's birthday, like, maybe Leo with August 17th, like, on the same plate. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it to the next level. People love representing for their birthdays, honey. And there's a solution for literally every problem, mostly every problem out there. You just have to figure out what can you and your brand do to take it to the next level to solve the other problem. The last factor to consider when identifying your brand or redefining yourself is, who is your audience? You have to know who your audience is when it comes to branding. When I first started blogging, I didn't really know who my audience was. It was just like, whoever's gonna read it. And then, of course, when I shifted into 50 Shades of Raee, I got very much more so intentional. My thing is, I'm talking to women. I'm talking to women who are my age. I'm talking to women who have, jobs. I started getting more focused. Now that I've started including like blogging and things of that nature, I now have a little bit of a male audience there as well, because they're either blogging or having businesses or things of that nature. But my focus is still women, inspiring women, educating women. That is still my main point. So for you and your audience, who is their age? What is their gender? Where do they live? What is their location? What are their interests? What are their values? What is their sexual orientation? That's something to consider, as well. And there you have it. So those are the 5 factors that you need to consider when creating your brand or redefining your brand, or whatever it is that you're doing with your brand or your blog or your new business. So I want to know which of those 5 tips that you've been struggling with the most. I know for me, when I first started, pretty much figuring out what my problem was the hardest thing. I couldn't figure out what problem am I solving. Like I was like, I don't know. I'm just here, you know? So it took a while, but I finally figured out what my problem was. So if that is the hardest tip for you, let me know down in the comments. If it's identifying your audience, let me know down in the comments, okay? So I really want to know what tip or what factor is the hardest for you, or the one that you are struggling with the most. And also, you know, on the flip side of that, which of these factors you know, are you pretty solid at? You know, if you're good at identifying your audience, maybe, you know, drop a tip to let other people know how they can hone in on identifying their audience as well. Okay, baby, over here we spread the wealth. It's enough information. Everybody can get a seat at the table. Okay, all right, so that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you found this video informational, and I hope that you found it beneficial. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Make sure that you, number one, subscribe to my channel, and then number two, check out my blog, 50shadesofrae.com. I have more and more for y'all, okay? And then also go follow me on Instagram. My user is at Raee, 2 E's with an underscore, okay? And that is it. I will see y'all in the next video.